Your cat stretched. The second you walked through the door last night, you probably smiled. Maybe said something cute and moved on. But what if that one moment, that single movement your cat makes every single day, is actually the most important thing they will ever try to tell you? And what if you have been completely misreading it your entire life? Welcome to our place. If you care about truly understanding your cat, subscribe right now, because what you are about to learn will change the way you see every single thing your cat does when your cat is not stretching. Here is the question no one ever thinks to ask. If your cat just needed to loosen up stiff muscles, why does that stretch almost always happen the exact moment you arrive? Not 10 minutes before, not while you were gone. The instant you appear. This is not a coincidence. And it is not about muscle tension. Feline behaviorists have a name for this. It is called the greeting stretch. It looks almost identical to the post-nap stretch. You have probably seen 1,000 times. Front paws extended forward, back arched slightly. Tail straight up with a gentle curve at the tip. But the context is completely different. The greeting stretch is not just waking up. It is a deliberate, directed signal aimed specifically at you. Researchers who study feline communication describe this as one of the most intentional displays in a cat's social repertoire. Your cat's brain processes your arrival, identifies you as someone significant, and fires off a physical response that says something. Words cannot. What is it saying exactly? We'll get to the full picture. But understand this, the fact that it is triggered by your presence and not by stiffness means your cat has assigned you a role in their world. That is far more important than most owners ever realize. And here is something that should stop you cold. Not every person in your home gets this. Pay attention to that detail. Because by the time we get to section 4, you will understand exactly what it means when your cat stretches for you, but not for someone else. Keep watching. This gets more personal. 2. Do wild cats do this? No. Do feral cats, living without human contact, develop this behavior? Studies say they rarely do. Not with the same intentionality. Not triggered by a person walking in. That fact alone should tell you something extraordinary. The greeting stretch your cat shows you is not ancient hardwiring. It is not something evolution burned into them millions of years ago so they could survive a hunt or escape a predator. This is a behavior that emerged and was refined, specifically because cats began living with humans. Research published in the journal Animal Cognition found that domestic cats have developed a suite of communication behaviors that are used almost exclusively in human-directed social contexts, not in cat-to-cat interactions, not in hunting sequences just with us. Think about what that means. Cats did not just adapt to living near humans. They adapted their entire communication system. To reach us, they invented new signals. They learned what made us respond, what made us engage, what made us feel connected to them. And the greeting stretch is one of the most elegant examples of that process. Your cat is not running the same software as their wild ancestors. They are running something newer, something that only makes sense if you exist in their world. And the fact that you are here learning this means you are exactly the kind of person their signals were built for. But here is where it goes even deeper. And most owners have absolutely no idea about this. Next part. 3. Your cat has scent glands in locations most owners have never considered. There are interdigital glands, small but highly active, located between the paw pads on all 4 feet. Every time your cat presses their paws into a surface during a stretch, those glands release chemical signals called pheromones, invisible to you, completely undetectable by the human nose. But to another cat, those signals are a declaration. When your cat does a full greeting stretch and digs their claws gently into the carpet right in front of you, or against the arm of the couch where you always sit, or the blanket at the foot of your bed, they are leaving a scent signature. This is not aggression. This is not territorial marking in the defensive sense. This is affiliation marking. The act of weaving yourself into someone's olfactory world so that your presence is felt. Even when you are not physically there, your cat is signing their name on the places you inhabit. Research from the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery has documented how cats use facial and body rubbing, not just for territorial purposes, but for social bonding, to reinforce relationships and create a sensory map of the beings they are most attached to. So the next time your cat stretches across your lap or does a dramatic stretch right at the spot where you always stand, understand that they are not just saying hello. In that moment, they are making a permanent, invisible record of your importance to them. They do not do this with strangers. They do not do this with people who are just passing through their lives. They do it with the ones who matter. And that brings us to the section that might be the most revealing of everything we covered today. 4. Have you ever watched your cat glance at a visitor who just walked in, then walk right over to you and do a full, dramatic stretch at your feet? Have you noticed that your cat practically performs for you, but treats other people in the household like background noise? This is not random, and it is almost certainly not about who feeds them. Most often, cats form attachment hierarchies. This has been studied extensively. A paper published in Current Biology demonstrated that cats clearly differentiate between their primary attachment figure and other humans in their environment. And they express that differentiation through specific social behaviors: slow blinking frequency, physical proximity, vocalizations, and, yes, directional social displays like the greeting stretch. When your cat stretches specifically in your direction, turning their body toward you, making sure you are in their line of sight during the display, they are performing what ethologists call a directed social behavior. The audience is intentional. You are not a bystander to this moment. You are the entire point of it. Now here's the part that might sting slightly. For some people watching this, if you are in a household where the cat does this for someone else, and not for you. It does not mean the cat dislikes you. Cats do not distribute their deepest attachment signals based on who is nicest or who has known them longest. They respond to something more: consistent, calm presence, predictable energy, and repeated moments of genuine acknowledgement. The bond is not assigned. It is accumulated. If you want your cat to start greeting you with that full body expression of trust and comfort, the answer is not more treats. It is more presence, more pausing, more meeting their signals with a signal of your own. We will come back to exactly how to do that at the end. But first, what happens in the morning might be the most telling thing your cat does all day. 5. You wake up before you have checked your phone, before you have said a word, before you have done anything at all. Your cat is already there, and they stretch right there beside you. Sometimes before you have even fully opened your eyes. Here is what is actually happening in that moment. Cats are crepuscular. Their activity peaks at dawn and dusk, but their sleep-wake patterns are heavily influenced by yours. Studies using activity monitors show that cats synchronize significant portions of their rest cycles to their owner's schedule. They sleep when you sleep, and they begin to stir as your breathing shifts, as your body movements change, as the subtle biological signals of waking start to emerge. Before you are even consciously aware of them, your cat has been monitoring you, not in a threatening way, in the way that a deeply bonded animal monitors the being they feel most connected to. And when you finally surface into wakefulness, that stretch is their version of a greeting ritual. A physical reset that transitions them from rest mode into the active social engagement they have been anticipating. Feline behavior researcher Dr. Michael Delgado, whose work on cat cognition has reshaped how we understand the inner life of cats, has written about the ways cats use physical expression as a bridge between states, between rest and activity, between solitude and connection, between the private experience of being a cat and the shared experience of being with you. The morning stretch is that bridge, and here's the detail that makes this hit differently. If someone else sleeps in the same space, a partner, a roommate, pay attention to who the stretch is directed at. Because your cat is not just waking up, they are choosing where to direct. The first moment of their conscious social engagement for the day. If that is you, you should feel that. But the morning stretch is just one piece of the picture. There is another stretch, one your cat uses in the middle of the day, that is almost never talked about. And it reveals something about your cat's internal emotional state that might genuinely surprise you. 6. You are walking to the kitchen. You are heading to the bathroom. You are crossing the living room to grab something. And somehow, impossibly, your cat is stretched out in the exact middle of wherever you are going. Every cat owner knows this. Almost none of them understand what it means. Cats have extraordinary spatial awareness. They map the movement patterns of the people they live with more accurately than most humans realize. They know which doorways you use most, They know where you pause. They know the geometry of your daily movement through the space you share. So when your cat chooses to stretch out, precisely in your path, they are not being clumsy. They are not asleep and unaware. They are placing themselves in a position that they know, from experience, will make you stop. This is not desperation. This is calculated social engineering from a behavioral standpoint. What your cat is doing is called proximity seeking. Through environmental positioning, they are not running to you. They are not meowing at you. They are using the space itself as a tool to create a moment of inevitable acknowledgement. And it works almost every time. You stop, you look down, you probably say something. Maybe their name, maybe a laugh, maybe a mild complaint. And in that moment, your cat has achieved exactly what they were seeking. Your complete, undivided, full-body attention. Even for just 3 seconds. Researchers studying human-cat interaction dynamics have found that cats consistently use strategic positioning, placing themselves in high-traffic zones, doorways and pathways, as a primary tool for initiating social contact. It is not submissive behavior. It is confident, social behavior from an animal who knows exactly how to work the relationship they have built with you. Every time you stop, you teach them it works. And they remember everything. 7. You have been watching this entire video thinking, mine does not do that. Not really. Maybe occasionally, but not the way being described here. Do not close the tab yet because this matters. Cats who rarely or never show this greeting, stretch to the people they live with, usually fall into one of 3 categories. And understanding which category your cat is in could genuinely change the way you approach your relationship with them. The first category is environmental stress. Cats who feel chronically unsettled because of unpredictable schedules, loud environments, other animals they feel threatened by, or a general sense of instability in their territory, carry physical tension in their bodies. That tension is not metaphorical. Cats under stress show measurably higher levels of cortisol, reduced play behavior, increased hiding, and decreased spontaneous social displays. They do not stretch freely because they are not relaxed enough to let go. If your cat rarely seems to fully decompress, this is worth sitting with. The second category is learned silence. Remember, this behavior evolved because it gets a response. If your cat has been performing social displays for months and consistently receiving nothing back, no eye contact, no vocal acknowledgement, no. Pause in your momentum. They learn to stop trying. This is not a permanent condition. It is a communication gap that can be rebuilt. But it requires you to start noticing. And it requires you to respond. The third category is simply individual variation. Some cats are physically expressive and some are not. Personality matters enormously. A highly social Siamese and a more reserved Persian are going to express attachment in measurably different ways. The absence of a specific display does not mean the absence of the bond. What matters is not whether your cat stretches in exactly the way described in this video. What matters is whether you are paying attention to whatever your cat is actually doing. Because here is the thing that ties everything together. And this is the part that the best cat owners understand, that everyone else misses. Your cat is communicating with you all day long. Not with meows, not with the obvious stuff, with body language, with timing, with spatial choices, with the direction of their gaze, with whether they point their ears towards you when they settle down, or away from you, with whether they interrupt your stillness or curl up at the edge of it. The greeting. Stretch is just one signal in an entire vocabulary, but it is one of the most direct, most deliberate, and most emotionally loaded signals they have. And now you know what to do with it. When your cat stretches in front of you, pause. Make eye contact. Use a soft voice. If they are open to it, reach down slowly and offer a slow blink in return. You are not just rewarding the behavior. You are telling them in the clearest language you have, I received that. I see you. That is what they were trying to do all along. If you made it to the end of this video, you are not an average cat owner. You are the kind of person who wants to actually understand what is happening inside that animal who has chosen to spend their life next to you. Subscribe to us. Share this with someone who loves their cat. And the next time your cat drops into a stretch right in front of you, remember, they are not just stretching. They are talking.